So the title of my work is Coupe d'oeil. It's French and it means glimpse. They're a series of cropped portraits. They're made with pastel pencil and charcoal pencil.
I was interested in exploring the connection between the artist and their muse. I painted oil on linen, so I stretched my own canvases. I stretched linen onto board.
My work's called Marble Memories, and the idea behind it was to try and capture and communicate emotions involved in memories of the past. So I was trying to combine a sense of joy and wonder that we experience in childhood with the sense of longing and sadness we have in the knowledge that those moments are in the past and we won't sort of experience them again.
The title for my artwork is called The Ground Force. I aim to realistically depict the scenes of the ground warfare. I paid special attention to the aesthetics of my compositions, as well as to capture the movements.
My starting point was investigating our whole perception of identities through an individual's face. So one portrait is of a celebrity, Alia Shawkat, and I cropped hers, not so much as the others, because she is a celebrity, she's a public figure, and it's kind of symbolic that we see more of her face, we know more about her. And the other one is myself. I tore the paper. It emphasizes the fact that it's being cropped. This is not the whole image. There's more to this person than what you see. I'm inspired by a lot of hyper-realistic artists. You spend a lot of hours, drawing up grid lines and making sure that everything's really accurate. And I didn't have the right color pencil for the freckles, so each freckle I had to draw 3 colors on top of each freckle. I looked at Eloy Morales, he's a Spanish hyper-realistic painter, and Mike Dargis, and Monica Lee. She did graphite, really intricate, detailed drawings as well. In 2016, I'm studying fine arts at RMIT, and I hope to pursue an occupation in the fine arts area, whether that be curating or teaching or whatever really. And I hope to just continue making art on a regular basis. I think the most important thing during VCE is to write down all those little sparks. A lot of people focus on their final pieces and forget about their folio, and they forget that the assessors don't actually know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, but they don't, so you should really explain and go through the process.
I looked back through history at the stereotype of the muse being typically a woman who was mused over by a male artist for her figure or her beauty. I wanted to challenge this notion by looking at an alternative to this muse. So I decided to muse over the objects in my studio, kind of similar to Paul Cézanne. I would make a series of preliminary sketches, and then from those sketches I chose what I thought were the best compositions. I painted in a way that was quite gestural because I wanted to represent the kind of frenzied connection between an artist and their muse. During the process, my favourite artist was Richard Diebenkorn, and he's one of my favourite artists because I admire his diversity of practice. I admire his draftsmanship, and because he had such a good technical grounding, it allowed him to paint in such a loose and gestural manner and a confident manner. I found that as you kind of mature through year 12, your interests and ideas kind of shift, and so if you choose a broad topic, I think it'll allow room for things to shift, and yeah.
This artwork was quite personal. I tried to link it back to my childhood. So my childhood, I spent a lot of time playing with marbles, and that's of course features heavily, and also playing on a rocking horse, which is they form the pictures which are inside the marbles. So I tried to draw on those experiences, and whilst they're personal to me, I hope that they are also shared by a lot of other people in their childhood. It was quite a long process. It started by taking some photographs. I then tried to superimpose one on top of the other to create a sort of ghostly spectral sort of effect. I then took those images and I printed them onto transparency paper. I cut them out into little circles or discs, then encased them in resins. My favourite artist at the moment is a man called Tobias Scheel Mikkelsen. and he does a great series at the moment called Faunascapes, and that blends pictures of animals with pictures of landscapes. His emotions are mainly wanderlust and sort of a sense of adventure, and so I tried to employ some of his techniques in my own work to try and evoke some emotion with my works. I'd say it's really important to explore, so especially in StArt 1 folio, is to try a lot of different things. For example, I didn't even think about using resin until the last minute. I thought, oh, I'll just give it a shot, see if it works. And I'm really glad I did, because it was the main part of this final work. So definitely try different things and keep your mind open, not too narrow.
The medium I used for creating my artwork is the Chinese calligraphy ink. I firstly outlined on the watercolor paper. Then I painted layers of tones to depict more details and to add depth to my artwork. I found the techniques of ink painting to be both challenging and interesting. Ink has very different properties compared to charcoal and graphite. When I first started to try ink painting, I had some difficulties, such as I had trouble controlling the amount of water in the brush, and also in terms of blending the tones. And sometimes when I make a mistake, it's impossible for me to erase them. I was inspired by John Singer Sargent, Serov, on the use of expressive lines to capture movement. I'm also inspired by Isaac Levitan's landscape paintings and his ink landscape drawings. In his drawing and paintings, I learned how to create good composition and how to draw viewers in. And I'm also inspired by Hou Bian, Ingres, and Wang Yidong's portrait drawings. I admired their conciseness, preciseness, and also their rigor when they're creating their drawings. This has inspired me to seek perfection. My plan for 2016 is to complete VCE and get into the course of architectural design. I hope this will enhance my work and projects in the future.